Welcome to this GiftWorks video. In this video, I want to introduce you to GiftWorks Pro. GiftWorks Pro is a brand new edition of GiftWorks that builds on over 8 years of success that we've had in helping you and your nonprofit organization manage your fundraising. GiftWorks has been helping you build and track relationships with your donors, manage and measure your contributions, communicate using powerful mailing tools, and analyze your fundraising to ensure that you're being efficient and effective. We also wanted to ensure that GiftWorks was going to be able to support you and your organization through years and years of growth. GiftWorks Pro is ideal for organizations that are managing 5,000 or more donors or who have 3 or more users. That's because GiftWorks Pro is able to handle hundreds of thousands of donors, donations, and more. GiftWorks Pro will also be able to grow and support your entire team, whether it's 3 or 30. GiftWorks Pro is also easy to get up and running. You simply need to install GiftWorks Pro for each of your users. And because GiftWorks Pro is powered by Microsoft SQL Server technologies, you'll need one computer or server where Microsoft SQL Server is installed. And then you're simply ready to get started. Well, why don't we go and take a look at GiftWorks Pro. Well, I'm over in GiftWorks Pro right now, and in just a moment I want to show you a little bit more about GiftWorks Pro, but before I do that, I want to jump over to my web browser because I want to show you a few things. I mentioned earlier that GiftWorks Pro is powered by Microsoft SQL Server technologies, and so I want to just introduce you to that a little real quickly in case that perhaps some of you already have Microsoft SQL Server available inside of your organization, and perhaps some of you don't. I did want to give you a few resources. First of all, GiftWorks Pro is compatible with any version of SQL Server that is greater than SQL Server 2005. And there's a number of editions that would work with GiftWorks Pro. Like I said, all the different versions from GiftWorks from SQL Server 2005 on. And the latest version as of when I'm recording this video is SQL Server 2012. And under the editions menu option here, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of different editions, and GiftWorks Pro is compatible with all these editions. One of the ones in particular that I wanted to point out is this Express edition. I'm going to click on that right now. This Express edition is a free edition of Microsoft SQL Server. And it is ideal for a situation that GiftWorks Pro, for many of you, Express Edition might be ideal for you. Number one, it's free. Number two, it should be able to handle a lot of the needs that you might have. Keep in mind there are some restrictions on the Express Edition, and there's some different ways of evaluating whether or not this might be right for you. One of the things you can do is under this editions, you can go to Compare Editions. And that'll compare the different editions. There's a big long article here that will compare the editions. Some of them have CPU limitations or memory limitations, things like that. So keep that in mind as you evaluate the different versions of Microsoft SQL Server that you may be using with GiftWorks Pro. Another resource I want to provide for you is TechSoup.org. If you go to www.techsoup.org, TechSoup partners with different companies to offer discounted products for nonprofit organizations. And you can come here and just look up SQL Server in the upper right-hand corner. And GiftWorks is actually included up here in the product spotlight right now. But you can also see different versions of SQL Server that you can get. And they come at a pretty significant discount. So make sure you check that out to see if that might be helpful for you and your organization. So whether it's TechSoup, or you're going to maybe try the Express edition of Microsoft SQL Server, or one of the standard editions of SQL Server. We hope that that's going to help equip you to begin to use GiftWorks Pro. Remember, you only have to install GiftWorks Pro on one computer, and that computer may be a dedicated server. It may be just one of your machines inside, one of the computers inside of your organization, but you only need it installed once. Now, you will be installing GiftWorks on all the different computers that need to have GiftWorks installed, meaning for each user, but you only have to have Microsoft SQL Server installed once. Well, let me head over to GiftWorks Pro. We're over at GiftWorks Pro right now, and I'm going to go ahead and sign out of GiftWorks Pro because I want to introduce to you a couple steps to get started with GiftWorks Pro. The first thing you're going to notice on this sign-in page here is an options link where I can click on Create a New Database, and that's what I'm going to do. So after you were to install GiftWorks Pro, you'd want to come in and create a brand new database. Now, keeping in mind that you're going to need to have already installed Microsoft SQL Server, this screen to create a new database is going to require some information about your SQL Server. So whether you installed SQL Server or somebody else with maybe a computer professional helped you out, you're going to need some information about that Microsoft SQL Server. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my name, and I'm going to put in the server name. In my case, it's Mission 01. This will be basically the name of the computer where Microsoft SQL Server is installed. And I'm also going to go ahead and put my database name. I'll just call this my demo data. And I'm going to put in my login information. Now I'm going to put a username and a password in here. You may not need to put a username and password. If you're familiar with what a trusted connection is, you may be able to just leave these blank. But either hopefully you or computer professional will help you answer that. Now, as you're creating a brand new GiftWorks Pro database, you may also want to include sample data. Typically, we wouldn't recommend it. If this is going to be your production or your the database that's going to hold your real donor and donation information, you probably don't want to include sample data. But if you're just trying GiftWorks Pro out, feel free to go ahead and check that box, and it'll fill GiftWorks Pro with some sample data for you. But I'm just going to go ahead and click on Next. And while it's doing this, let me just remind you, GiftWorks Pro is communicating with the Microsoft SQL Server right now and setting up your brand new GiftWorks Pro database. Now, I want to just show you some basic things. That's how easy it is to get started creating a GiftWorks Pro database. You're not interacting with the Microsoft SQL Server too much other than installing it, and GiftWorks Pro will handle the rest. Now I'm going to go ahead and sign into GiftWorks. And I see GiftWorks is going to be, if any of you have used previous versions of GiftWorks, this will be a very familiar environment. And if you're just getting started with GiftWorks Pro or just getting introduced to it for the first time, make sure you take time to check out some of our other videos, and you can even attend a live tour where we go through all of GiftWorks and what it can do for you. So that's how easy it was to get started just creating a brand new GiftWorks Pro database. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually sign out, and I'm going to sign into another GiftWorks Pro database that has a whole bunch of donor information already loaded into it. So instead of choosing Create a New Database, I'm going to click on Select a GiftWorks database. And it's going to ask me for that same SQL Server information. I'm going to provide that same SQL Server name. I'm going to provide the username and password. And I'm going to click on this Get Database List, which will give me all the databases that are available on this Microsoft SQL Server. And I'm just going to go find this fake info database. That's all the names and addresses and information you'll see here are all fake. So we're not giving out any real donor information here. So I'm going to go ahead and choose my user account and then sign in. I'm ready to sign in. So assuming you've perhaps loaded up your GiftWorks Pro database with all your donor and donation information, I'm seeing that I have a history of donations here. If I go under my donors, you'll see now I think I have about 15,000 donors in my GiftWorks Pro database right here. And you'll notice if I click on this All Donors link at the bottom, one of the things you'll notice is we have some paging down here at the bottom. So I'm seeing just a page worth of donors, and I can go through and navigate through all the different pages of donors. You'll see I have plenty of donors. I actually have 14,968 donors listed down here at the bottom. And I'm viewing, I think, about, I don't know how many at a time. If I click on Customize, I'll see that I'm seeing 100 per page. I can modify that if I wanted to see 200 per page. So now instead of just seeing 100 on each, I'm going to see 200, and I have 75 pages of 200 donors each. And so I can kind of navigate through there. And so, like I said earlier, whether or not you have, whether you have 15,000 or you have 150,000 donors, GiftWorks Pro is going to be able to keep up with what you're doing. A couple other things I wanted to point out about GiftWorks Pro. If I head over to the Settings area, and now I'm going to come down here and click on Database Files and Maintenance, and I'm going to click on Manage Your GiftWorks Database. Now, all of you are going to want to make sure that you're backing up your GiftWorks Pro information on a regular basis. This is in the event that something catastrophic would occur, or maybe even someone within GiftWorks makes a mistake. Perhaps they delete a bunch of information they didn't intend to, or perhaps you even import a bunch of information you don't intend to. So backing up should be a regular part of your GiftWorks Pro usage. So I'm going to click on Backup the Database. I'm going to put a name in here. I'll just call it my GiftWorks Backup 2012. There you go, my date. And I can also choose what location I want to store this backup file in. It's either going to back it up on the location on the Microsoft SQL Server itself, perhaps into this folder on the SQL Server itself, and perhaps this backup folder is being saved to an online backup location, things like that. Or it could even back it up to a custom location, like perhaps a server location where you just store all your backups. But in this case, I'm just going to store it in the SQL Server location and click on Backup Now. It's going to go ahead and back up this information Remember, you want to make sure that it's either being backed up online or being backed up to something that's going to be taken off-site to ensure that your information is safe and secure. And now the backup is complete, and I'm all set. Another tool that I wanted to show to you that comes with GiftWorks Pro is this Upgrade a GiftWorks database file. And this is going to be for those of you who are using a previous version of GiftWorks. Perhaps you're using GiftWorks 2010 or 11 or 12 or even 13, standard or premium, and you want to upgrade to GiftWorks Pro. I want to show you how easy it is. But to do that, what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to sign out of my GiftWorks Pro database. I'm going to need to create a brand new one. So this is for those of you who are upgrading from a previous version of GiftWorks to GiftWorks Pro. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a brand new one. And I'm just going to put my name in again. And I'm going to say it's going to be on the server, Mission 01. And I'm going to call this my upgraded GiftWorks. And I'll put in a username and password. And I'm going to not include sample data. I'm just going to go ahead and let this create. Now, while this is doing this, just as a reminder, what I'm showing you right now is for those of you who have a GiftWorks, you're either using an older version of GiftWorks Standard or GiftWorks Premium, and you want to start using GiftWorks Pro. I want to show you how easy it is to get there. So I'm going to click on Finish. I'm going to sign into this brand new upgraded GiftWorks Pro database. And I'm going to go to Donors just to show you there's no donors here. If I click on all donors at the bottom, you'll see there's nothing in here. Now what I'm going to do is head over to the settings area, and I'm going to click on database files and maintenance and go to manage my GiftWorks database. And I'm going to click on upgrade a GiftWorks database file. That is a GDS to GiftWorks Pro. So for those of you using a previous version of GiftWorks, there will be a GDS file that is your GiftWorks data store file that contains all your GiftWorks information. So I'm going to click on that, and we're ready to now upgrade your previous GiftWorks information to GiftWorks Pro. Well, I'm going to click on this Browse button here, and I'm going to find my previous GiftWorks database file. So it's going to be a file that ends with .gds. In my case, it's mydonordata.gds. I'm going to double click on that, and I'm ready now to upgrade my old GiftWorks database file to GiftWorks Pro. Click on Upgrade to GiftWorks Pro. It gives me a little bit of a warning message right here. I'm going to click Yes because I'm ready to get started. And it's going through, and now it's bringing all that GiftWorks information from my old GiftWorks database file into GiftWorks Pro. It'll go through, take a little bit while it's kind of moving all the information in and formatting it appropriately into GiftWorks Pro. It'd probably be a good idea after this finishes to ensure that, just to make sure that everything's okay, do a backup right after you do this. But I just want you to see how easy this is. This will just take about another maybe 10-15 seconds while it finishes up. It's upgrading all the information into GiftWorks Pro. We'll let this finish up. And it should be done here in just a second. Great. It's been successfully upgraded to GiftWorks Pro, and you now be signed out and you're ready to get started. So I'm going to click OK. Now I'm in this upgraded GiftWorks database. Remember, I'm going to sign back into that. Just make sure I add my users. Great. And now I'm right back in. Now if I go to my donors, I'm going to see that I have all my donors here. If I look at all donors, see that I have a whole bunch of donors here. So it's successfully upgraded it from a previous version of GiftWorks into GiftWorks Pro. So if you're using a previous version, just know that it's going to be really simple to get started using that under Database Files and Maintenance. Manage your GiftWorks database using this Upgrade a GiftWorks database file to GiftWorks Pro. Well, in addition to the things that I've already showed you about GiftWorks Pro, GiftWorks Pro also contains all the features that you'd expect to find in a great fundraising solution, like the ability to manage all your donors and all your contributions and donations, the ability to communicate with your donors using powerful mailing tools for your receipts and your thank you letters, your welcome letters and your solicitation letters, the ability to do powerful analysis using our reports and our smart lists, and then additional tools that you'd expect to find, things like integration with Constant Contact, and back in our home page where you can set up your integration with Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We also have address validation tools and a lot of customization capabilities built within GiftWorks Pro so that you can design GiftWorks Pro to match how you and your organization need to work. Well, thanks for taking time to watch this GiftWorks Pro video. If you're ready to take the next step with GiftWorks Pro, make sure you reach out to your sales team member here at GiftWorks, and we wish you the best with your organization. Thanks.